Well, welcome back to the Frugal Gardener's homestead. I am the Frugal Gardener. I am back in my mini food forest. This was originally supposed to be a video of me showing you all the improvements, all the new stuff that I planted, everything that's been going on since the last time I have been in here. But that's going to have to wait. I am going to give you an update if you stick with me, but there is, let's say, a pressing issue. I have a situation that caused me to actually stop. I planned this garden out months ago, and the plan was a simple one where this was all supposed to be pots in the middle and everything else is supposed to be in ground. Well, welcome to the scene of the crime. This is what I'm dealing with right now. Everything along the perimeter of this was supposed to have been planted. I'll give you an example. Over here, these were, this was melons, watermelon, and cantaloupe, and honeydew melons. And over here, same thing, except for this was also supposed to have been squash and corn. Look here, there's one corn coming up, one corn stalk. That's it. So you may notice this one lavender just sitting up here, and I'll explain that in a minute. If you look real close here, you'll see where the squash, oh, look, here's my label is still here. This is where the 6 squash plants that I had were planted, and it looks like 1.5. So what's going on? Well, there's been intruders. There's been an invasion. I call this the scene of the crime because in all my years of gardening, which those of you who have been following my channel know I have been gardening my whole adult life. I'm in my 70s, and this is the first time I've dealt with this problem. This is all going to be cleared up, but right now, there is no point in me getting all of this cleared up and cleaning this up the way I wanted to, excuse me, because I have rodents, and I'm not going to be outsmarted by them. I have seen them around this area here. I have seen them on my trail cams, and I've actually seen chipmunks running back and forth here. I'm not sure if it was Simon or Alvin, or it might have been Theodore, I don't know, but they've been running up and down this log here. So they have probably been in here also. So at this point, I'm not about to turn my garden over to a bunch of rodents when I work so hard and spend so much money and put so much time and effort into this. So like I said, before I clean up this whole area, this has got to be dealt with. This is war. Over here, they weren't satisfied with eating the vegetables. This screen is here for a reason. They actually ate up my wildflowers. These are the plants that I went out of my way, the seeds I should say, to buy so that I would be guaranteed that, well, I shouldn't say guaranteed. Nothing is a guarantee in life, but the point was to bring in the wildflowers as pollinators, and those are the ones I make sure that I picked for pollinators, and they ate those too. So what's a frugal gardener to do? I did some research, and I am going to evict these suckers ASAP. I've already started the process. You might say, why am I watching this video? I don't have this problem. Well, I didn't either. I never had chipmunks to deal with until now. I never had mice, field mice, to deal with until now. Field mice, you say, where'd you get field mice from? Well, that's my neighbor's field directly across the road. So field mice, no chicken jokes about crossing the road, but you can see didn't really take much for them to get from here to here. So the first thing I did was set up a couple of traps. This is new. This is pretty clever. And basically, I put a piece of cheese up here, and this is mobile. So basically all they have to do is step on here to get the cheese, and this little doohickey opens. Bye-bye mouse. They fall into the bucket. They can't get out. So if you want to know if that works, the answer is yes. To my surprise, I've caught 4 mice so far using this. This is a ramp that you can use to attach to give them some help. Oddly enough, my nephew put this over here one night because I closed this off, and I caught 2 without any bait and without the ramp. 2 over here, 2 over there. That's 4. I have not seen anything since. So I'm not going to take any chances. I do have to take some responsibility because in my research, I found that one of the things that may have drawn them here is this. The bottom of this was full with compost. Frugal nephew brought it up for me from the other side of the property, and I am pretty sure the compost, the aroma, the scent, whatever you want to call it, the smell from the compost attracted them. So that could have been number 1. Second thing that I had to deal with, by the way, everything that I'm showing you will be completed today. I'm not messing around with this. I don't have a lot of days left between now and the first frost before I'm going to have to pivot and start my fall garden. I'm happy about the way these beans are coming up, but like I said, it's a tale of 2 cities here. I have to get rid of these guys. If there's any more left, they gotta go. So this is more or less soil now. Most of the manure out of this is gone. So I'm going to fill this. I'm going to use this for flowers. I'm going to put this down the other end. You'll see how that goes as I progress. The second thing that I had to take ownership of, responsibility of, is my bird feeder, which goes up here. The birds love it. It's been working. There's a bird bath. Here are some of my wildflowers. So what I do now, and if you notice, you will not see any seeds on the ground because I learned my lesson. This old pot has a hole in it, and surprise, surprise, I don't like throwing anything out. So what I have done is use this. I put the bird feeder in here, take the top off, so any excess goes in here. Now the bird feeder can be hung up. This is actually a pretty good one. You don't see a lot of waste over here, so that's a plus. So I've taken care of the problems on my end, and that leads me to my second trap, which is here. This is way different. I say way different because I brought this trap originally for the possum. I'm sorry, not possum, for the raccoon. It turned out to be a joke because the raccoon is almost twice the size of this trap. I saw him on the trail cam. So I put a carrot in there because they will eat carrots. And this has been out for 3 days. I'm going to move this to another location because nothing has been here. Now, field mice will laugh at this. They can run in and out of this all day. They're small, and if they wanted this carrot bad enough, they can drag it out. But I'm hoping that whatever else is around here, if there is anything else around here, that they will try and drag this out. step on that plate right there, and that plate will trip this gate. The gate will close. Bye-bye rodent. So that's the other thing that I'm doing. I'm also now going to bring in, I'm just getting started because all this, I'm going to clean this out, and I'm going to bring in a few other things that I purchased yesterday when I was at Kroger. And those are, let's call them deterrents. Those aren't things to catch them with. Those are ways to keep them away. And I will go into that in a minute. So let me back up just a bit. During my research, I came across a couple of things that when I began to put them together, it made sense. Like, I know that raccoons and possums are nocturnal, and I'm showing you guys, this is my setup. I don't have I never built a proper gate. I'm saying proper like I'm British. I watch too many British TV shows. At any rate, this is what I do at night. This is because of the deer. But what I'm beginning to realize is that I could have possibly solved this problem, or maybe I'm adding to the problem, because yes, mice could scoot under here at night, but for the most part, what I have done is lock the rodents in. I've given them safe haven, because if they come in here during the day, because they're not nocturnal, and they hide, because you can see with all the foliage and everything that's growing, it looks great, but you can see what's happening. They get in here during the day, and I lock them in. I'm basically giving them, like I said, giving them safe haven. I'm giving them a place of refuge where the possums and raccoons can't really get to them. So this is the reason why they've been able to come in here and wreak havoc on my stuff. So that's part of what I have to deal with, and part of the reason why now I know what it is that I need to do. So now let me move on to, well, let me show you one other thing. I love showing you guys before and after pictures. In this case, this is before, after, and before again, because this is last year's garden. Looks like a jungle now. Before this video is over, I have something to show you guys that I learned recently, learned along the way, where I can use a deterrent to keep the mice and the chipmunks and the voles out, but at the same time, it can save me money. It will save you money. You guys might think right now, this does not pertain to me. Why am I watching this video? It didn't pertain to me until it did. In other words, you may not have rodents in your garden today, but you could have them tomorrow, in which case this will come in handy. I'm showing you this because this is part of my plan B or plan C. I have pots that I still have in here from last year. So the goal is to rip all this crap out, get this out so that I can make use of these pots. These pots will in part be used for my melons. So you get what's going on here. The melons that I have not been able to put into the ground over there, I can put into these pots here. And then once this area is viable again, and I am able to put melons in the ground, I'll have more than what I originally anticipated on having. So let me show you my second stage or third stage at this point of what I intend to do to get rid of these guys for good. Okay, so we're ready to go. This is my mini arsenal, but before I go into that, I'm just going to show you, this is what I was talking about earlier, where everything I would leave open all day, and the mice are not nocturnal, chipmunks are not nocturnal, so they come in here and they hide. This is all going to be gone once I take care of this problem. But at any rate, when I leave out of here, this is going to be closed behind me every single day. That's number one. I planted these yesterday and trying to get out of this. So this is spinach and lettuce. It's low to the ground. This is easy pickings. So this is going to be raised up on these crates. I have one here. I have one over there. So these are going to be relocated down this end where there's more sun. Well, more sun during the day, more hours of sun, I should say. So these are going to be elevated, which will make it more difficult for them to get to. The third thing is these here. I spoke briefly about these already, but these are my wildflowers. These are the flowers the seeds that I hand selected and planted, so that this is my plan B, because these were supposed to be in the ground over here. I have about 3 more of these that are growing, and what I'm going to end up doing is spreading these around. I'll put one way down here and just put them in various areas of the garden. This is the same thing. This is that. This is seeds that I put in here that are basically going to do the same thing. So at some point, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to plant the flowers back over here as I originally planned, because in a couple of days it's going to be July. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, like they used to say. Now, I'm fortunate because pretty much everything I'm going to show you I already have. I don't have to go out and buy. The trail cams are self-explanatory. I have 2, there they are. This will let me know what's going on when I'm not here. This will let me know what's going on at night because they have infrared. So I can set these up, and if there's activity, if these little buggers come back, then these cameras are going to pick them up and I'll know it, hopefully before they do any more damage. This is my motion sensor light. I have these all over the property. I have approximately, well, I had 8. I'm down to about 6. I'm just going to put 1 in here someplace. I'm going to strategically place this because I'm doing my research again. They don't like light. When you have light come on suddenly, I don't know if you've ever had to deal with mice or not, but I grew up poor. I grew up in the hood, and we did occasionally have mice in the house, and when you turn the light on, they will scatter. So this is temporary. According to what I read, they will eventually get used to this and they won't run from it anymore. So I have this. This is temporary. This is something that I have not tried before. These are coffee grounds. You've seen me use these before. I use this in the garden, but this is another temporary barrier. The goal is to make this as inhospitable as possible, to make them not want to come in here. This netting, this is a last resort. If everything else that I do does not work, then I'm going to cover everything with netting. I can run it from the top of this fence down this way so it's not touching the plants. So I would have to put a barrier around it to keep them from getting in it. It's going to be a pain in the behind because I have to keep lifting it to get to the plants. But like I said, I'm not going to let a couple of rodents ruin my garden. I spend too much time and effort on this. Now, getting to the good stuff. I picked this up the other day. Chili powder, crushed red peppers, they do not like. So I'm going to sprinkle these around the perimeters. I'm going to sprinkle this around here once I cut this down. Well, I don't have to cut it down in order to replant, but I do have to get these flowers out of here. So I'm going to sprinkle this around. The issue with this is that when it rains, and we're supposed to get rain tomorrow and Saturday, when it rains, and there's another one of the little chipmunks. I've seen them almost every time I'm out here filming, but they're always out here. So I'm hoping that they stay out here and that they're not coming in here, but my camera is going to tell me that. So at any rate, this will keep them out. But once it rains, again, like I said, I have to come out and reapply it, so that becomes a pain in the behind. But now for some long-term solutions, I am going to grow ghost peppers again. I haven't grown these in at least 5 years. It takes a long time to grow them, so I don't think they're going to, uh, let's say, be harvestable this season. The cold will probably get to them in the fall, but you see what I'm after here. I just want the funk. I just want them to be irritated enough to the point where they decide we don't want to come in here anymore. You know, we don't like this place anymore. Between the flashing lights, the chili powder, the crushed peppers, the coffee grounds, everything that is going on in here, we need to find someplace else to hang out. So that's where that comes in at. Now, I've already told you about, we've already talked about the other traps, so I'm not going to go over that. I said to you guys when we get to the end of the video that I was going to show you something that was going to, something that's a nice tip, something that's going to save you money, and something that you will probably enjoy in your garden. So here it is. And they're garlic bulbs. I actually plant these to grow for, to eat, for seasoning. I did not plant any this spring, but you can plant these year round. The problem is when you plant them this time of year, you're going into the summer, you're not going to get very big bulbs out of it. You will get some. My purpose is this actually has a dual purpose. I'm going to break up these cloves and I'm going to disperse them. I'm going to plant them all within here, all up and down here, because once they start to grow, that is going to be what I consider a permanent deterrent. And when I say permanent, I mean for the rest of the summer. I'm not talking about next year. So I'm going to open these bad boys. I'm going to start putting them around. I was going to plant everything and then show you, but time is running short. I'm already late with this video, so I'll show you how it looks after the fact. I'll probably show it in the next video. 2 things you need to know. A lot of people, they go to the seed shops online and they buy garlic, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, except for the fact that you're going to pay more money. So what I do is I do 2 things. I look to see where it's grown and grown in the US, and I look for organic. So this is organic. It's grown in the US, and if you look real close, you'll see no preservatives and non-GMO. So this is how you know what you're getting. So many companies now, I've done 2 or 3 videos now on garlic that comes from China, and they're doing all kinds of crap with the garlic. They're bleaching it. They're doing all kinds of stuff with it. So none of that here. This was not that expensive. It was a couple of bucks, I think $2 and something. I'm not sure of the exact price. But once I disperse these, yes, it's going to take a while for them to germinate. Yes, it's going to take a while for them to really have an effect. But that's the reason why I'm going this route. Like I said, if I can temporarily throw them off, temporarily chase them off using these methods here, then by that time, this will kick in, the ghost peppers will kick in, and hopefully the problem will be solved. If by some chance all this doesn't work, then the last resort is going to be the netting. Will they chew through the netting? I doubt it. So far, what I've seen are babies, and they are not high enough to get into any of these pots. These have all been untouched. Everything over here. They've been going for what's in the ground. This is the reason why they went for what would have been my wildflowers over here. But you can see the peas, the Jamaican sorrel, the the grapevine, all this stuff here is doing pretty good. And with us having rain for the next couple of days, they're going to be doing even better. So I'll give you guys a tour next week because I have been doing a lot out here, and like I said, it still looks messy because I had to stop to focus on this issue because there was no point in me continuing to plant squash and sugar baby watermelons and cantaloupe and honeydew melon and corn if they were going to just dig up the seeds and eat it. No more free lunch. So that's it. This is where we are. I'm going to be back on, my regular videos next week. This is the Frugal Gardener. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please take the time to share this with everybody and anybody who is into gardening or that you want to get into gardening. But remember one thing, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. I'm the Frugal Gardener. I'll catch you guys on the flip side with a tour of what's been happening, like with my peas that are coming up, and my lettuce, and my potatoes. Catch you guys on the flip side.